Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be here, and it's a really great opportunity with so many esteemed people, and it's kind of humbling in some respects to be in the same company. And I suspect some of the newer starting technologies, entrepreneurs in the audience so far, they're feeling a little bit daunted at times. There's so many things to pick from. There's so many things you have to do. You're looking at things. I have to secure my IP. I have to start my company. I have to find investors. I have all these things to do. And I wanted to first of all just say you're not alone, that there's a lot of people in your situation, and there's a lot of these good professional services, people like the people on this panel, that are going to be able to help you out and to get you through that. And so a selection of some of those early on people is going to be really important. One of the ones that goes kind of gets back burner for a while and is really kind of it really is a critical aspect is who's going to make it. We have all these entities pushing and pulling and advising and counseling and securing what you have, but we have to deal with who's going to actually make your product. And that's where somebody like ourselves, PEKO, at the place that I'm employed with, that's what we try to get people to do. And how do we do that? Well, one of the first things we have to do is help you with your strategy. And if you haven't considered who your manufacturing partner is, it's a good indication that you haven't thought through your strategy of how you're going to take this product, how you're going to commercialize it, and get it to be something besides a sketch on a napkin or an idea you had in the shower or whatever it is. So one of the things we want to work at is strategy. And looking at that is where there's kind of two ways you can kind of take it, and we've heard a lot of those today, is are you going to license it, or are you going to make it yourself, or are you going to contract a manufacturer like PEKO to do it for you? Which way are you going to take that idea that you have, and who are you going to get to do it? And so we want to take a look at it in regardless of which path you take, as a small, adaptable, and probably a two-person operation, you need to be willing to maybe even switch paths. You may set down the licensing path. You may find yourself going later on to saying, you know what, nobody's really licensing for what I want. I'm going to make it myself because I'm going to push this forward. I'm going to have passion, like we've heard numerous stories today about. So be adaptable, be able to go between those, but have that plan. Know where you want to take it. And that's going to also help you when you come to the manufacturer to have that plan, or even if you don't, you come to somebody like PEKO and we say, well, what's your strategy? And you haven't thought about, we can help you go through that process. But part of that is, again, is going to be, we're going to make something. Because when you're going to your investors, say you're going to go meet with some big corporate, and you say, well, I have this idea, I want to license it, but there's nothing better to have something in your hand, right? When you come in and say, I have this great idea for a plan, and I got this device that you can take it with you everywhere, talk to your friends, send messages, collect email, and get on the internet with. And you're thinking, what would such a device look like? And if I can pull something out and say, it looks a lot like this, and look at with all the cool stuff I can do, people are a lot more compelled to want to get involved with you and say, oh, you have something I can look at, and maybe, gee, wouldn't it be nice if it was a little bit round, or wouldn't it be nice if it was kind of like this? People are engaged with what you're doing because they have something to hold in your hand, but somebody has to make it at the end of the day. So even if you're licensing, you're still going to see that same value prop add is by having something in your hand. Or if you're going to say, I'm going to make it myself, same thing. You want to be able to go to investors. You want to have something you can show people, and you got to be able to get that started. Having a manufacturer that has full capabilities beyond, say, a small operation that only makes piece parts is also going to be able to put the hooks in to get you a device that's going to be manufacturable in a scaled-up version. So you can start building those things in, get rid of some of the pitfalls. We talked earlier about a little bit about the valley of death we heard, and we can get you through that valley of death faster if we can avoid the things that we say, that's never worked. Don't go down that path. People have tried it, and in the history of mankind, nobody's successful doing it. Don't do it. So we can avoid those things and help you through that valley of death and get you a product, get you something in your hand, but something that's also scalable. Another element that we bring, it's a really important one, is mass. And what do I mean by mass? We're bringing along our associations and our 45 years of manufacturing history, that when we go along with somebody and we say, hey, this guy needs to have something made for this, they say, I don't know if I want to be involved in that. They say, oh, but you're involved. And that's actually happened with a company we worked with. They were turned down by a manufacturer on a certain part of it, and they said, oh, PEKO's involved? Well, we'll take a look at that. So we bring mass, we bring that experience, and we give confidence to not only other manufacturers that this is something viable, but to your investors. So I'm going to leave you with kind of just the thoughts of, know what your strategy is, have a plan for that, and pick your manufacturer early so that you're able to make those adjustments and avoid the valley of death. And at the end of the day, it always comes down to somebody's got to make it. Somebody's got to actually do the stuff, and we do it. Thank you.